Even the best mid-caps out there on the airsofting market can experience issues over time. Whether it's issues feeding, especially with heavier BBs, or if you just have things like dirt or any other sort of debris in your magazine, well, you can experience some issues. So in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about how to repair and maintain your AEG mid-caps to make sure that you're getting the most life out of them as possible. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane and welcome back to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsofting field through our educational content, and if you enjoy videos like this, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button down below to join our community for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. So before we get into the actual maintenance part of the video, let's discuss the tools that you're going to want to have. So the first thing is you're going to want a couple of different sizes of Phillips head screwdrivers. You're going to want some medium-sized as well as some pretty small size depending on how deep you have to get into your magazine. You're also going to want Allen keys depending on which magazines you have. I know the G&P high rate of fire magazines require an Allen key to unlock it. And then other than that, you're going to want a little bit of silicone if you're doing general maintenance on this magazine, so you're not cleaning it out. You just want to make sure that it's running a little bit smoother. And you're also going to want some compressed air to clean out any dirt that could possibly be in there. While I think about it, you're also going to want Q-tips and a microfiber rag, again, if you're doing this for cleaning purposes. So the first thing that you're going to do with the magazine, if it has a base plate, you're going to want to take that off. Now on the PTS EPM, it's real simple. There's a button on the bottom. You simply depress that in and push the base plate forward. Now that that's taken care of, you're on equal footing with all the other mid-caps that exist out there for M4s. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove this screw here, which is pretty simple. You're just going to unscrew that and make sure that you keep track of this screw because this is what holds the guts of the mid-cap in. So once that is out, let's just unscrew that real quick. Put that off to the side. Remember, you are going to need this. Then the rest of the magazine will just slide out of the top. If it has, fake bullets or windows on it, those are going to fall out. But we don't need to worry about those, so we'll just get those out of the way. So what you're going to do next to actually get inside of the components of a magazine is there is this one big screw right here. And this is what holds in the end of the spring inside of your mid-cap. Now, taking this out is going to possibly relieve the spring of tension and it might fly out. So when you remove it, make sure to have your finger on there to make sure that it doesn't release. Now on the PTS EPM, there is something very specific about this piece I want to mention. Now this piece is, as you can see here, it's this nice big piece, but it's also got a rod on the inside of the magazine. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. And the best analogy for that is it kind of looks like a pen. So this top piece up here is the clip for a pocket, and then the body of the guide rod is the body of the pen. Now, the reason why they have that on the PTS EPM is because it's going to help with stability and make sure that, nothing bad is happening to your spring when you're at full capacity, and it also keeps you from going beyond full capacity and damaging the spring. So on the EPM, this can be a little bit of a pain to do, so I'm going to take this out off camera and show you the end result. However, it's going to be the same exact thing for every magazine out there. Okay, so now that we have that out, let me show you that guide rod, and this is exclusive again to the PTS EPM. So you can see kind of where my pen analogy came in and why this could be a little bit of a pain to take out of the magazine. So now all you're going to want to do is remove the spring and you just want to pull on it until it comes all the way out. And now that your old spring is out, you can replace it or inspect it to make sure that your spring is in good condition. You're going to want to be looking for kinks, places where it's not uniform along the track, and things like that. If you notice any abnormalities, you're probably going to want to switch your spring to a new one. Now for the PTS EPMs, I'm going to be installing another PTS EPM spring because PTS makes this part available, which is a great addition to the PTS lineup. I think that it's great that they carry the aftermarket support for their magazines. If you don't want to go with one of these because you're using something with maybe like a lower capacity, I've heard great things about Maple Leaf springs. So I'm going to pop this open and install it back in the EPM. But before we do that, why don't we talk about general cleaning of magazines. So if your goal is just to clean out the magazine, the first thing that you're going to want to do is take your compressed air can and you're going to put the nozzle of that inside where that spring came out, and you're just going to want to give it a few taps of air. So when I'm doing that, I can feel it going through the channel that the spring would be in, and then eventually hitting me in the knuckle again, which means that the air is going all the way through, and I obviously don't have a blockage. Now, if your issue is that there is dirt and debris in your magazine, what you're going to want to do, it's very simple. You're going to want to unscrew all of these screws here, so you're going to need a smaller screwdriver like we discussed earlier, and then you can go throughout the track with a Q-tip, with a microfiber rag, but what I would suggest doing is running your finger through there, so running it along the track that the BBs would be on, and if you notice any rough surfaces, you're going to want to sand those out with a piece of sandpaper. Now, the reason why any rough patches could possibly exist are for a few reasons. It could be the quality of your BBs, the quality of manufacturing straight out of the factory, or even your spring could be rubbing up against the plastic and causing some rough surfaces. You don't want these in there because that's going to make it harder for your spring to travel correctly every time, and that could be leading to some feeding issues where your spring's getting caught on something or the follower is. So you're going to want to smooth those out. However, I'm not going to do it in today's video for time restraints and the fact that I did pop this open and didn't see any with the PTS EPM. Okay, so now that it's time for reassembly, you're going to want to put the follower in. And again, this is after you've cleaned out or looked at the inside to make sure that everything is okay. And you're just going to feed it through, and eventually you are going to feel some sort of spring pressure when the follower hits the end of travel. And this is going to be the moment where you reinstall the guide rod on a PTS EPM or on any other magazine. It's just going to be this top piece here. So I'm going to do this right now. Hopefully I can do this on camera for you because it can be a little bit difficult with the EPMs. This is going to take a minute. All right, so simply just pop that down. You're going to want to make sure that if there is some sort of clip, it's going under, because if it goes over, your magazine isn't going to fit back inside of the actual body of the midcap. So now we're just going to screw that back in real quick. And then once you're here, all you have to do is reassembly. You're going to want to line up the the fake brass in here, or if you want to take it out, you can get a little bit more accurate gauge of how many BBs you have left. You're going to want to install the actual glass components onto the outside of the body, but this is the simple part. If you don't have any of that, you're just going to, put that back in there. You're going to screw this back up, put on your base plate, and you're good to go. And that, guys, is how you replace or maintain your existing midcap magazines for airsoft. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a little bit different, but I wanted to try some new things. But that's going to do it for today's video. Like I said, if you enjoyed this video, again, I'd love it if you joined our community by hitting that subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that bell icon next to it for updates when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. If you really enjoyed this video, I would love it if you checked out my Patreon. It allows me to continue to make this content for you guys, and even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to make sure that the channel survives and I'm able to maintain the high quality that I aim for in my videos. Make sure to follow me on social media if you have not. Links will be down in the description below. This has been Lane from the BB Warrior talking about midcap maintenance, and I will see you all next time.